So what's interesting about the podcast stroke TikTok world is it's both very, very long and very, very short. Everything in conventional entertainment world was at the kind of, it was at the kind of, 1 hour, 20 minutes
Yeah.
length. That was the kind of thing about a film, and music tracks lasted so long. And what's interesting is that we've discovered, in a sense, through just media experimentation, everything from the box set binge, where I actually find watching one episode of something at a time really painful now.
So do I.
I either want to watch nothing or I want to watch 3 episodes. And similarly, and actually, I have to confess, the only reason I wasn't a heavy TikTok user is that whenever I used it, my kids used to shout at me. They're 23 and they thought it was deeply inappropriate for a 59-year-old man to be watching TikTok. Okay, it was kind of their thing. But I've always enjoyed it. I've always found it. By the way, I also find it quite benign. I mean, we talk quite a lot about the malign effects of social media.
Mhm.
And there's undoubtedly this component of social media which is driving FOMO. In other words, people share the curated parts. Well, you run Made in Chelsea, okay, but people share the most glamorous, most curated parts of their lives, okay?
Yeah.
Whereas actually, when you're off camera, you're eating in a KFC on the Old Kent Road, right?
Yeah,
Your
that's
car's broken down.
It's
What
so
I mean is
true.
the parts of your life you share are vastly more exotic than the parts of the lives you live.
Yes.
And that can have a malign effect, I think, on people's expectations. But I always find TikTok, quite often people's backdrop is a pretty shabby house, or the house isn't very tidy, or everything's a bit scruffy. And it's mostly just the wholesome business of people using their talents to entertain other people without any particular kind of status component to it. It's just, that healthy business of sharing, jokes, amusements, observations.
What makes something a trend?
Sometimes I think the only way you can look at it is say it's completely arbitrary. In some cases, things become fashionable. Sometimes marketing drives it.
Yeah.
Sometimes marketing accelerates it. Sometimes marketing creates it. Sometimes I think it's just genuinely the product of kind of accidental circumstances and time. I mean,
Give me an example of that.
female fashion. I mean, there is some degree of planning by the fashion houses, but you will get these weird trends which just come from nowhere. One that particularly irritates me, okay, is when a trend is a perfectly healthy trend and then it becomes all-encompassing.